It was a lot of fun for me to join the Storm staff after being with someone for 20 years. And it's good to be part of a team and be able to do things and join a good group of people. It was a big difference. It was a lot of fun, and the wide variety. It was like going from having a couple favorite toys to having this plethora of choices and options that I haven't had in a long time, and made practicing a lot of fun because I had so many new things to try, and the difference in reaction, it gave me a new kind of fun to practice. I mean, I practiced so much because I had so many things to practice with. Yeah, the tour ended about 7 years ago, I guess, and then I met my husband, and then we had our son, so I kind of thought, well, that was my career, and now I have my family, and I was fine with everything. And then my husband got back into the pro shop business, and we kind of shared it together because I didn't know him when I bowled full-time on tour, so kind of brought a new energy into my bowling. And then last year we put a lot of effort into practice and working on things and changing my game a little bit, and then we'd had so much success at the US Open winning last year that it really kind of renewed my spirit for bowling and wanting to still be competitive and be out there and bowl some more. I don't think the equipment, I think the equipment I have a good handle on. The biggest change in the tournaments that we have nowadays are the fresher conditions, like the fresh oil. When I bowled full-time on tour, it was like you bowl in the morning, the lanes stay, then you come back and bowl at night, the breakdown and all that. And I'm really good when the lanes break down and I can get in and find a little groove. And now, more often, the lanes are on fresh oil. So that's something I continue to work on and try to be better and do certain things and throw the ball straighter and play different angles that aren't so in my, comfort zone that I've done my whole career. But I think the lane conditions nowadays are a bigger challenge for me than the equipment. I'm seeing the product line from Storm helping me tremendously because I have more reaction out of a bowling ball, and it lets me be firmer when I'm playing it straight and not feel like the ball is going through the break point and not recovering. I have so much more recovery with Storm products, and I'm so much more comfortable playing different angles of the lane because the balls do a lot of different things that I haven't had in a long time. It's a big difference now because I think it's a small part of it as a reunion. You get to see the girls that you bowled with and your friends that you don't get to see all the time, but then you really have to focus on what you're doing and the tournament at hand. And also, when we bowled on tour, we bowled consecutive weeks, and you would get things going and bowling shape and everything. And then now it's like you got to do it right then and there. You can't bowl yourself into shape. You have to be more prepared and be ready to go right then and there. And it's a lot different now. It was devastating for me when the tour stopped because even though I had done it for like 17 years, I was actually kind of still bowling well towards the end of my career. I mean, 2 years before the tour ended, I was Player of the Year. And so I was still very active and competitive, as many of the girls were on tour that were winning. They were, the older girls on tour. And I think it was heartbreaking for me thinking about the younger girls that were just coming into their own and then having the tour ended, because if that had happened to me at like 10 years into my, career, I would have been devastated. Fortunately for me, I met my husband and we have a family and everything, but I think there's so many young, talented girls out there that really deserve a chance to have bowling as a career like I do. Right, and I think that's a question that everyone has tossed around at every conversation about bowling, but I don't think anyone has the answer, and I don't think it's any one thing in particular. I mean, people have said not enough girls will come and bowl, and then they'll have one tournament, but you can't. I think there has to be a full-time tour for someone to come do it again, and I don't know. I mean, it's going to have to be like someone who just loves bowling, who has, this enormous amount of money, who says, I'll do it, because I really think it's a viable entity, and I think there's a lot of bowlers. I mean, we had 300 entries at the US Open last year, so I know that there's a lot of women bowlers who want to bowl, and they're so talented. I think there's more talent now than there used to be, so I wish I had the answer. Well, until last year, being inducted into the USBC Hall of Fame was probably my greatest feeling about bowling. When I was inducted, just the stage and the environment was really meaningful to me. And then last year I won the US Open in Cowboy Stadium with my husband seeing me win for the first time, and then my son with me. That by far was my greatest bowling moment.